the rest of the world starts to get back to normal, we're still struggling a little bit in the world of theatre. March the 16th, Boris Johnson advised we stop going out, we socially distance, pubs, theatres, things like that. And yet reopening them has become a bit of a trauma. Amateur and professional theatre are facing the similar challenges. It's all around social distancing, making productions work, and yet the amateurs, who are just seen as hobbyists, are finding that actually not much effort or thought is going into how they can recommence, and amateur societies, like professionals, need to make their books balance. So the push here is getting those professionals back into the theatre and earning that money. But as we're seeing, it's not as simple as that. Speaking on Radio 4 this week, Culture Secretary Oliver Dowden said indoor theatre without social distancing will probably take place in November at the earliest. This kind of date is the final nail in the coffin for pantomimes. They need months to prepare. There's licensing, there's costumes, there's rehearsing. And so we don't think there's going to be pantomime this year while there's social distancing. If there's any risk to the producer, they're not going to take it. If you've got a cast, someone comes down, the whole cast has to self-isolate, you don't have a cast. The costs of doing this are just going to be too much. Now, two pantomime producers that we recently spoke to for the August special, more about that later, they're adamant that the social distance makes it impossible to operate. And this is all assuming that there isn't a second wave of coronavirus, which actually about 90% of you thought we would probably get. Do you remember the poll? I'll give you an example. In theory, Andrew Lloyd Webber introducing Beverly Knight at the Palladium last week sounded fantastic. I bet she did sound fantastic, but 500 people, audience capacity of 25%, and red X's all over the auditorium. I can't believe that the atmosphere was there, and to be honest, looking at it with hindsight, it didn't look that appetising as a performance. However, with news this week that Phantom of the Opera is going to close after 34 years, I'm sure Andrew Lloyd Webber has got other things to think about. Second longest running musical in the world, he promises he will bring it back in its original format. But the rumours won't be quashed, and people are worried that maybe Phantom will go the same way as Les Mis when Cameron Mackintosh brought it back in a slightly different guise and managed to avoid paying all the original creatives. We will see what happens there. The life of a billionaire, eh? Back in the world of amateur theatre, we're still trying to work out what is feasible to put on. Some non-professional theatres are mounting outdoor productions, but it remains to be seen whether this is feasible for lots of companies. Some people are sticking with putting things on Zoom and YouTube. What are you doing? Let us know in less than 75 words what your panto plans are, and email them to news@sardinesmagazine.co.uk. Last week, we asked one question on a possible vaccine in order to get theatres back to life. We asked, do you believe a COVID-19 vaccine is on the way, and will it turn things around? While almost 80% of you think a vaccine is definitely on the way, 57% of respondents answered yes, but probably not until 2021 sometime. Our next issue, due in August, is a special issue because it's going to be online only due to all the current situations. You will need a digital subscription to read it unless you are one of our print subscribers, because you get free access. It's £7.50 for 6 months digital access and £12 for a whole year. This will also coincide with the launch of our brand new website. In our next issue, we've got the delightful Ruthie Henschel, who is incidentally more interested and preoccupied with getting theatre back on its feet than plugging her own concert dates. We've also got lots of lockdown stories that people have been sending in, thank you for those. And there's an article about why pantomime probably will not happen. The final say will probably come when Kudos announce next Friday if they are going ahead, as they are one of the biggest pantomime producers, producing the ones at the Palladium amongst others. What they decide will probably help the other companies decide in what will happen. If you need to get a digital subscription, the link is below, and as ever, if you like the video, please give us a little thumbs up. Thank you and stay safe.